Well, the bLU Junior Cup race number 3 is about to get underway, and Hunter Corney so far is 2 from 2. He will start from pole position in race number 3, ahead of Hunter Charlett and Nicholas Lazos, joining them on the front row of the grid. Connor Lewis, Ethan Johnson and Rossi McAdam make up row 2.
Elijah Andrew, Zane Beckinsale, Jed Lewis are on row 3. Row 4 is Phoenix O'Brien, Henry Hind and Ethan Pelgrave.
Augustus O'Halloran, Zach Russo and Adam Jordan round out the 15 bike field here. And we've already seen 2 sensational races. Race 2 was a great battle for the remaining places on the podium. But once again, Hunter Corney has proven that he is the gun rider here at Sydney Motorsport Park on the bLU Junior Cup machine this weekend with 2 wins from 2 starts.
He hasn't had it all his own way though, has he? So Hunter Charlett's pushed him. Ethan Johnson is up there too. Nicholas Lazos starting in 3rd position. He's also had some good results. So you know what? He's going to have to earn it. Keep an eye on him, though. There he is on the number 40 machine, and he'll be lining up from that pole position.
Yeah, his race 1 win, Steve, was by 1.8 seconds. Not so in race number 2. 0.3 of a second was the eventual winning margin for Hunter Corney over Hunter Charlett in race number 2 and over Ethan Johnson in race number 1. So plenty of riders to keep your eye on in this race as we get underway for the first race under lights and the 3rd and final race for the bLU Junior Cup. Here at their first round of the championship, they weren't at Phillip Island where we hosted round 1. So this is their first round this weekend, and they've put on a fantastic show here in front of the crowd. And what a great opportunity is to have 2 races under lights. Their first race took place last night, and a great race it was too, especially for the final races, podium positions. But we're ready to go racing now. bLU Junior Cup. bLU Junior Cup is go. Good start from the front row of the grid there. Looked like there was a bit of movement a little bit further back in the field, but we'll wait for race direction to sort that one out as our leading riders now make their way down to Sydney.com corner. And as they make their way through, the good news, Steve, is I think that everyone is going to make their way through there safely and then head off down towards Motor Corner Turn 2.
Yep, a little bit of a jump start there for sure. Not sure who it was, but we will find out. As you said, race direction, we'll have a good look at that. And around the outside goes Nicholas Lazos. That was a good move from the outside there. Couple riders go wide. You can do that on this circuit though, Phil. There's a couple of different lines, especially on these smaller bikes there. And looks like Connor Lewis is up there and Ethan Johnson as well. He sits 3rd overall in the standings at the moment, so he needs to ride well.
Down into the bottom of the hill at turn 4 we go for the first time. He picked it that Nicholas Lazos got a great start, and he's leading the race from Connor Lewis and Ethan Johnson. Ethan Johnson is another rider with a red helmet that's been up towards the front so far this weekend. Oh, massive wide line there from one of those riders off the other side of the ripple strip. Lucky there's tar out there, Steve.
Absolutely. Hunter Corney's right where he needs to be in that 3rd position at the moment. Connor Lewis has moved up into that 2nd position as well. So, and Hunter Charlett, who was challenging for the win, is up there in that top 5 at the moment.
Round from the back of Corporate Hill, we're coming down through Honda, down to the hairpin on this Sydney Motorsport Park Gardner layout, which is the traditional layout for the Sydney Motorsport Park venue. So many different layouts that they can use here now with the track extensions. There's 4 different configurations that they can run here. But we've already seen a small breakaway at the front. We'll get the length of that gap as they come round to complete the first lap, but it is Connor Lewis that's tried to do a Hunter Corney and get away at the front early on in this race. He has a bit look over the shoulder, and all that's done is allow the riders behind to utilise a bit of slipstream and try and catch up. Look at the slipstream in this category, Steve. It is so important, and there's plenty of places around this circuit as well where that slipstream can be utilised. But blasting through it is Corn on bike number 40 that's made his way towards the front, and he will tip into the lead as they go through Sydney.com corner. The first lap, a 2:09 from a standing start on a 150cc machine. Yeah,
I think that was definitely by Connor Lewis looking around at that point. Not the most aerodynamic thing to do. You need to keep aerodynamic here as they head side by side heading into the modal corner there. Tight left-hander, a couple of different lines, but it is Hunter Corney who's right up there at the moment and takes the lead with Connor Lewis right behind him.
You know the best thing about this class, Steve, when you see the riders come back for the 2nd year and you see the massive improvement that they've had. We've seen the races so far only about half a second off the existing lap record from the extremely fast pace that we saw last year in this class. Nicholas Lazos last year was a 10th to 15th kind of guy. Now he's racing at the front, and he's doing it quite regularly. There's that jump start that you can see back there in the field. Race direction will be busy trying to work out who that is on the Ducati replay.
Yeah, of course, that's Ryder. That's Henry Hind who did that jump start penalty there, and he'll get a 10-second penalty. Not an ideal way to start the race, and I think we can all agree that he did jump that start.
He did jump the start, but what he should have done was just kept going. He was going to get a 10-second penalty whether he slowed down or not. And there is confirmation from race direction that unfortunately Henry on board bike number 68 will be incurring that 10-second penalty at the end of the race. But as they make their way up through Michelin and come up towards the top end of the circuit, where this series of corners leads us back around on the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start finish straight. That gap from Hunter Corney has somewhat deteriorated as Connor Lewis has managed to reel him back in, and he's got Ethan Johnson and Hunter Charlett there as well. So Rossi McAdam has just dropped off the back of fraction. Nicholas Lazos has dropped back now to 6th position.
It's still a pretty tight group, though. Elijah Andrew down in 7th is 1.7 off the lead at the moment. So you've got all of those guys, that top 7 in 1.7. So it's still pretty tight at the moment with laps to go.
Well, Lazos has just been close enough to get the use of the slipstream from those 3 or 4 riders in front. When they spanned out across the track, it probably helped him a little bit as well, because the slipstream increased in its width, and Lazos was able to draw himself back onto the back of this 5-bike battle. Bit of chopping and changing as they come down towards Motul at the start of this 3rd lap.
Well, Lazos missed out on the podium in the 2nd race earlier today. Yeah, I think it was like 4th. So what that means is in the overall standings, he's 4th at the moment. So he really does need to try and get himself back onto the podium, having had a podium in the 1st race.
Yeah, he was only 0.1 behind 2nd place on the podium in the 1st race that was held last night as well. So Nicholas Lazos having a pretty good weekend. He's also been mixing it up with a bit of FIM Mini GP on board the Avale as well, which is a great training tool.
Well, on top of that, he rides his motocross bike at Sydney Motorsport.
Well, that's another thing that's going to be holding him in good stead as well. We know plenty of motocross training. It's physically hard work, and it prepares you well for a night of racing. He's had a couple of birds sitting on the track there, getting a great close-up view as the field makes their way round through Honda and down towards the hairpin once again. It is back to seeing Connor Lewis in the front. Where has Hunter Corney gone? He's only dropped back to 2nd position there. One of the riders that's utilising the black helmet, but certainly the red helmet of Connor Lewis is standing out at the front. Ethan Johnson also doing a good job there on board bike number 31. Sitting there quietly in 3rd position, if you can do anything quietly in this class, Steve.
Yeah, he's been having a really good weekend, as Ethan Johnson, as the number 77, Connor Lewis, dives up the inside there, takes that tight line, and look at him, they dive to the inside of the track. I don't know what that's going to do for drive down the straight, but that group now is really tightened up. Keep an eye on the number 73 in the background there, Hunter Charlett. We know he can get on the podium. And also 18, Elijah Andrew. That's going to be one big group now.
Well, as they made their way out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start finish straight, it almost looked like the conga line at a Greek wedding as they made their way from side to side, all trying to get advantage of the slipstream as they go through Sydney.com corner. The man that has come out on top, no surprise there, it's bike number 40, Hunter Corney,
well,
who's once again managed to, he just always seems to find himself in the position where he's able to get to the front.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's certainly a talented rider. He's up against the odds there, isn't he? It's like 7 into 1 doesn't go, but in this case, he makes it work. So the thing is, though, you've got to be tactical in these races, because you can't lead out of the final corner and expect to win the race, because someone's going to slipstream you to the line. So you'll see a lot of the guys and girls out there start to look over their shoulders to see, you know, where everyone's at, who they're worried about, where they're going to place themselves, especially as we start to head into the last couple of laps of this race.
Well, the fastest man on the last lap was the fastest lap in the race, a 1:59.824 for Rossi McAdam. The lap record for this class is a 1:58.507 for Archie Schmidt, set at the corresponding meeting last year on the 25th of March. So Archie Schmidt, lap record not in any danger at the moment of being broken here this weekend, but the racing is... Oh, got one down. Can't quite see who that is. It's bike number 77, Connor Lewis. The red helmet appears from the other side of his blue cRU Oceania Junior Cup R15. Can they get the bike up and going again?
Well, he's only just thought about it now. Let's. He probably, if he'd have picked it up, I mean, it looks like he's completely fine. He might not have lost too many spots. He would have been 8th or 9th, because there's a little bit of a gap. There's a 15-second gap. Look, he's saying, let me go, let me go.
So the lead now is still Hunter Corney, and the lead as they come down onto the straight is starting to diminish with the aid of the slipstream. It is bike number 16, Rossi McAdam, that has made his way up into a second position. Now, Rossi McAdam was fourth in the race earlier on today, and in race number 1, he was fifth as well. So he's looking to try and get up onto the podium and improve and have his first podium of the weekend, his first podium of the year, in fact, as they make their way through Sydney.com corner as we start this penultimate lap.
Yep, down they go again, and it's the number 16, Rossi McAdam. And he hasn't had a podium this weekend yet, Rossi McAdam, I don't think.
No, so fourth and fifth so far in two races. Look at that lead group of two, Steve, just starting to get away a bit too.
Well, it is now with the, as we start to head into the last lap. There you go, the number 77's got going again, Connor Lewis, but unfortunately it took himself too long. 27 seconds is the amount of time that he lost there.
Well, the good news is, even in 15th position, he will score some points. As we have a look at the Ducati replay now, I think he's just turned in there probably with a little bit too much speed, fractionally on the brakes. The front end of the R15 has just washed out. And see, that's where the lack of experience. He should have been trying to pick that bike up straight away and get the thing started and lose minimal amount of time as possible. As Hunter Corney is now under pressure from Rossi McAdam, as they come round through the back of the circuit and up through Alpine Star's Tech 5 corner.
Yeah, these two guys look like they're working together now as well to try and make that gap. That gap back to Ethan Johnson's about a second now, so a nice little gap as they finish this one off and head into the final lap of the race.
Yeah, good to see Elijah Andrew having a good race in this one. He's been doing a lot of training with Coach Romeo Armone as well, so good to see the man that probably doesn't live too far away from this circuit. He is from Western Sydney, Elijah Andrew. He's got the wild hair. He's nicknamed Sideshow Bob, Steve, and if you see his hair, for very good reason. As they make their way through Dunlop now, you can see that bike number 11 there, that's Nicholas Lazos, is just trying to get the utilisation of the slipstream on this very long straight. That would, well, it's long on most of the superbikes, but how long is it going to be on a Yamaha R15?
A lot of time to think, as they head down. And as we look, there goes Ethan Johnson up into that second place. Hunter Corney takes the final lap.
No, there was someone celebrating a little bit early.
There's a mistake there. He thinks that he's won.
This is the final lap now, and I think is that Hunter Corney that thinks he's won. They're all slowing down, are they, or not? Yep, there's a couple of them slowing down, a couple of them aren't, Steve.
There you go.
That's a fatal mistake, mistake there.
Hunter Corney will never do that again.
No, that was the last lap board that was out, not the checkered flag.
Is he going again yet or not?
Well, I don't know, but it's at the moment, you'll find that the rider's got his head down. He knows it's not the last lap, and that is Nicholas Lazos, and also bike number 16, Rossi McAdam.
Oh, and Ethan Johnson tries to nip up the outside there, can't quite do it.
Let's see how long it's taken Hunter Corney to realise his mistake.
I think he's out of the equation now, though, isn't he?
Well, he's out of the equation for the race win, but what can he do to try and maximise his points? He's back to fifth position.
Oh, he's back on the group.
He's back on the group. Well, this will be the greatest comeback since John Howard if he can get back up there and take the race win.
He could do it. He could do this.
Well, he's going to have the slipstream as they go to Tech 5 now, as they come out of Michelin and go along the back straight. He's got Honda to plan that now as he comes down into the hairpin.
Up the inside, that's a tight entry. He can't.
That's on the inside of Hunter Charlett, he's gone. Right, this is where it's all going to have to start for Hunter Corney now.
Well, he's in the right position, really. If he can get a good drive and get a slipstream with all of those bikes in front of him, he's actually doing okay.
It's McAdam that leads them as they come up to the final corners for the last time. This is the last lap, Hunter Corney. Now is where you need to time your run to the, big push and shove there. Ethan Johnson's got put out wide. He's going to get a little bit of drive hindered there as he comes onto the straight. Corney's on the back of this group, Steve, but I think you'll find that Rossi McAdam is still leading them. The slipstream is being utilised. Nicholas Lazos trying to use it as well on board bike number 11. Pulling out of the slipstream is 73. Hunter Charlett, can he get there? I think Charlotte's going to take the win. It is so close. You'll need a photo to sort that one out.
Corney makes a comeback and gets third. What a win by Hunter Charlett. Rossi McAdam in second. Nicholas Lazos just misses out.
And Ethan Johnson, who was in that lead group, you've got to feel a bit stiffed when you get 0.2 of a second behind the race win. You don't get on the podium and you only score fifth position, but that's the nature of this racing in the bLU Junior Cup. Congratulations to Hunter Charlett taking the win by 0.017 of a second.
Wow, what a save by Hunter Corney in that one.
Well, I don't know how long it took him to realise that that wasn't the last lap. It was the checkered flag was not out. But he was celebrating a lap early. Hunter Corney will still take the round win on 68 points over Hunter Charlett on 62 and Rossi McAdam on 53. But there is the confirmation of your results. 0.017 of a second, the winning margin for Hunter Charlett, his first win of the weekend. Rossi McAdam, a podium in second position, and Hunter Corney, the great recovery to come back from 5th position on that last lap to take the final podium position in 3rd. Nicholas Lazos in 4th, Johnson in 5th, Andrew in 6th place, Beckendale in 7th, Louis in 8th, O'Halloran in 9th, and O'Brien rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, good ride there by O'Brien. Ethan Pelgrave in 11th. 12th is Henry Hind. Zach Russo down in that 13th. Adam Jordan in 14th and 15th in the last point. Connor Lewis after that off.